Soldering a jump ring is easier than you think. I'm Chris, and I'm a photographer here at Fire Mountain Gems and Beads. And I'm going to show you the basics of soldering jump rings. Let's get started. So, we're going to be dealing with some open flames, hot metal, all that crazy stuff. So, safety is very important here. So, I'm going to pull back my hair. So, if you've got any kind of loose hair, jewelry, clothing, any of that sort of thing, we're going to want to either pin it back, take it off, that sort of thing, just something to think about. I also have glasses, but when soldering, very important to wear eye protection as well. You can also see that I've got a small Pyrex container, small dish like that full of water for quenching the metal when we're done. And I also have a fire extinguisher. A third hand can also help you. I'm not going to use it today, but you can set it up here. Therefore, I've got more hands for dealing with flames, putting out flames, quenching, that sort of thing. I have my needle nose pliers for opening and closing my jump ring. I have some various grits of sandpaper for cleaning and prepping the joint for the solder. Also have some solder flux. It's a combination of both, and we'll get into some of that a little bit later. Have a nice firing brick to protect my workstation from the heat. We don't want to start this on fire, so I'm going to do everything on this brick right here. It absorbs all the heat. I have nice pair of like angled tweezers or something like that to just then take my piece, quench it when I'm done. And basically that is it. So let's get started. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get my pliers here for opening and closing jump rings. It's a pretty simple concept. If you have any questions about it, we do have some videos on it, but as you can see, it's just real simple. Angle, nose pliers. And when I have my seam exposed here, I'm going to come in with some fine grit sandpaper, as you can see, and sand both sides of our seam there. We just fold it in half to get it a little coarser there. There we go. And I also want to sand the surrounding area. Again, this is because we don't want any oil or dirt or anything that's going to get in the way of our flux and our solder. We want to just make it all nice and consistent all around. And that looks pretty good. So after that, now we're going to go ahead and close our jump ring. So if we were doing a pendant or anything right now, this would be the time to slide it on, because once you solder, there ain't no turning back. And I'll get it nice and closed there. We want to have a nice top to bottom seam. And I'll angle that towards you so you can kind of see what we're going to do next, which is grab our solder. This is a mix of solder and flux, a paste, silver solder paste. And so with the name like paste, it does come out a little thick, which you're going to see right now, right? So it's coming out there. And what I'll do is drape it right over our seam, like so. Okay? So now our next step is to grab our torch. We're going to be real careful here as we fire this guy up. All right, got my torch going, and I'm just going to come in real precise and slow and take my time. Going to burn off the binder there, and you'll see it turn. There we go. And let me flip it over and apply heat to the other side of the seam, and that will pull, that should pull it right up through the seam. Which it did. Yep, looks like a little dot of mercury. It's nice and bright. Now I'll quench it. Hear that? Come back over here now. Jump ring, you know, he's looking a little battered and bruised right there, huh? So I'm going to take my moon cloth, which is treated, and it helps us polish the silver out. So if I just come in Another option is taking some of our pickling solution and a pickle pot or small crock pot, both of them are on firemountaingems.com if you want to pick those up. And you can soak it in that. And as you can see, there's our seam. All right, folks, so let's just kind of review what we did here. We got an unsoldered jump ring. We cleaned and prepped the seam for the solder and the flux. We then closed our jump ring to the position at which we wanted to have it stay once we soldered it. Okay, then we applied our solder and our flux, and then after that we applied heat to the seam and the flux and the solder, and soldered the jump ring solid. Now once it was finalized in our position that we wanted it to be in, we then cleaned the area using either a moon cloth, you could use penny bright, you could use a pickle pot, and there we are. All right, so soldering as a technique is really great solution to solder and secure your jump rings. You know, I hope you found this tutorial helpful. Please come visit us at firemountaingems.com to find many other helpful resources. So we'll see you there.